welcome back to another live stream on the TKW Facebook page. Thank you so much for tuning in. And once again, we are back in the Weather Center because we do have severe weather on the way here, as you can see on the screen. We do have all hazards of severe weather possible tomorrow, and there may just be some good news about tomorrow's severe weather, but we'll break down everything you need to know, of course, like we always do. And before we get started, this is a quick shout out to my friend Kyle. If you need a new Mazda, give him a call. He gives you a great price and has really good customer service. So without further ado, here's a live look at Oakville camera, courtesy of Oakville WX. You're watching Team Kenny Weather. And welcome everybody. How are you guys doing this evening? Thank you so much for tuning in once again on the Facebook page, because boy oh boy, you can see it already on the screen. We have talked about it in our weather video. We made a million posts blowing up your Facebook feed to let you know that severe weather is possible, not only for Friday, but now there is also a chance for Easter. There is a possibility of severe weather. So we'll break down not only Friday's event, but you came here to get the Sunday's event, because not only we have Friday, we have Sunday as well, and maybe a little bit of Saturday, but we'll cover the whole weekend as well, give you Easter Day forecast and stuff like that. But welcome everybody. Glad to see you guys. Everybody that's staring at me, not typing in chat, welcome everybody. And we got a lot of information to go through, so let's get right into this. So first things first, we got the severe thunderstorm risk here. And real quick, Kyle says, let's see. Oh, it doesn't let me pop it up on the chat. Okay, we have to get that. But what's up, Kyle? How are you doing? Just saw you moments ago, feels like. And yeah, let's get right into the thunderstorm risk. Remember, we have a couple days of severe weather. So first one, you can see on the top of your screen, it is a slight risk. This yellow here, you can see the key onto your left hand side here, and this is a slight risk. It's a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, so some storms are possible. That's what the slight risk means. A couple storms are possible. You can see everywhere is in the area here. We got Herman, we got Troy, St. Louis, Hillsborough. Just about everybody, if not all, is in the slight risk of the 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. And this is for the Friday evening. Now, Friday is going to be fine, but once we get to Friday evening, we'll show you the models and show you what we're talking about. But unfortunately, in the tornado department, we do have a small risk here, and basically how this shows it on this graphic here, it's a 1 out of 5 on a severe weather scale for any type of tornadoes within 25 miles for a point. So we do have that possibility of some tornadoes. It does look weak at the time, I will tell you that right now, but there is a possibility of some tornadoes as well. And let's not forget, we got the thunderstorm wind gusts here. You can see popping up on your screen. And this is a slight risk. So we do have a slight risk of damaging winds. It usually means it's going to be isolated anytime you really got like a slight risk. It's not like a severe weather outbreak. I want to make that clear. We're not expecting a severe weather outbreak here. And we do have a thunderstorm risk, isolated thunderstorms up to 60 miles per hour. And if we go to the hail outlook too for tomorrow, and here's the hail risk too. This is probably going to be the biggest factor tomorrow, the hail threat here. And so basically we are in a slight risk for every single category except the tornado risk. So all hazards are in play, just like what we talked about in the intro. We have the tornadoes, we have the hail threat, and we have the wind threat. But let's get into the models, because I want to let you guys know what the possibilities with this system is. Yeah, I'm not sure why it doesn't pop up the comments. I have to check into that. Welcome everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? Thank you guys for being here. Really do appreciate it. We are going into the models. Don't worry about the tornado warning at the bottom of your screen. That is in Iowa. Nothing for us. So Alrighty, so here's the timing, folks. So let's take a peek of what we can expect. So Thursday, tomorrow, is going to be just fine, no worries. Or, well, today's Thursday, actually. Duh. But as we go into Friday morning is going to be just fine. No storms, no severe weather is expected with this. You know what? Let's go to this one. No, okay, we'll just stay here. Okay, anyways. So we're at the afternoon time. You can see we do have a line of thunderstorms starting to bit out to the west, and that's going to start making its way over around the afternoon hours. This is 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Now, I want to bring your attention to these storms, at least in my opinion, if these actually do happen, they could limit the severe weather risk. And I say that because we do have that slight risk. It's not a severe weather outbreak, but there is severe weather possible. This is going to be like a simple, basic severe weather, nothing to go crazy about. Like your home is not going to get leveled and trees are not going to fall on your roof. It's not that type of severe weather event. It's going to be more isolated here. And we go down in time. Once we get to around 5 to 6, 7 o'clock, you can see some storms out in front of it. Now, this actually happens because there is a cap in place, which is preventing these storms to be severe. And basically what that means is when storms build, you know, they rise. You can see it outside when it gets stormy. The storms rise. Well, there's a certain point in the atmosphere where there's a cutoff. So they can't really grow too strong because the room that they need is shut off, basically. So that's basically what happens. But if we can, around, this is 7 p.m., this is probably the most likely start time here. If we can get a storm, you can see right over the St. Louis area here. And let me see if I can zoom in. Right over to St. Louis, you see how we have a storm right in front of it? These are the storms that we have to watch because if we take a sounding here, it does have a chance for a brief tornado with this. So we definitely have to watch around the evening time for the potential for a tornado threat. But you can see here on the screen, and it's very isolated. You can see not everybody's going to be getting that severe storm, but this is kind of what we have to watch. This is basically why that slight risk is in play here, and basically it's showing if that cap is broken. Basically means that the storm can build through that layer where it's just completely shut off. Now, once we get into the 8 and 9 p.m., we do have some more showers and thunderstorms, maybe a couple severe ones. This is where the hail threat could be produced here, and I don't know why that's doing that. Trust me, it's not my first time, everybody. But anyways, let's go back in time here. So once we get to around the 8 o'clock hour, you can see we have some thunderstorms forming, and this is where it can be severe. This is where we can have the hail risk. This is where we can have some wind. Tornado risk looks low, but once again, it is there. But I don't think we'll be worried about tornadoes at this with the system. It's more going to be a isolated wind, isolated hail threat, because you can see not everybody's getting a severe storm with the future radar here. And then once we get into the overnight hour, this is when it really starts to break up here. And this is when the severe risk really starts to go away. Not really looking at too much as we go into the overnight hours. But it's going to be raining basically all night. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, you just said not a lot's happening. What's all this? Now, this is going to be thunderstorms, maybe a hailstone or two, but not looking overall crazy. Now, this is not a system to hype up because it's not really looking too much. We have a lot of stuff that's not in play, like a cap in place. The low-level jet is a little bit late and stuff like that. So there's a lot of factors here that are really making it not as bad. But right in this pink area here, you can see on your screen, is the best shot of severe weather overnight. So you can see right here, moving on to the east. And then once we get into the overnight hours, this is wide variety of thunderstorms for everybody here. This is just going to be making its on, it's like a conveyor belt here. This is going to make its way on through. No severe storms are expected, but you can see some heavy heavy rain is going to be over the next couple days, and that's why we do have that flood watch in place, because we are just, look at this, right up I-44, hitting all the Merrimack Caverns and Candy Factory billboards as it goes up. But a lot of rain all the way through Saturday here, and this is as far as the model goes. So most of Saturday, all the way through Saturday, I should say, is expecting rain conditions. But we'll go to this model here, and we'll show you this one because it goes just a little bit farther out. And like I've been telling everybody here, this storm system is the storm anxiety. If you have storm anxiety, you'll be just fine. Okay, so, and because it's a slight risk, it's just slight, which means isolated severe thunderstorms are possible. It's not going to be like any of the storms that we had, or that one in March we had all those tornadoes. It's not going to be close to that. It's mainly going to be a lot of heavy rain and some hail here. So once we get into that afternoon time, you'll see clouds start to darken up, start to rain, and that's going to help our severe weather risk. So if we see that rain, which we probably will in the evening, that's really going to tamper that severe threat again. So you can see this model is showing a thunderstorm. We have to watch around that 7 o'clock hour. We really do have to watch there, because that may be when the storms try to form. And yeah, this model doesn't really show anything, but these nice little blips here, it's this area right here, these small little blips around 7 p.m. or so, is really going to be the point to look at. So if these do anything, any of these little blips or anything like this, that is a horrible drawing, but anywhere in these blips that you see is going to be where the severe weather risk is, and if the cap can be removed, where it can actually get strong to severe storms. So basically around 7 p.m. going all the way till about midnight will probably be the best shot for severe weather. Before, once we get into Saturday, it'll just be mainly a hail and just flooding threat at that point. Easter egg hunt and the pair at 9:30 a.m. Saturday, rain or shine. I think Saturday at 9 a.m. Holly. Unfortunately, the comments don't pop up from this way I'm doing it, but unfortunately, I do think it's probably going to be rained out on Saturday. Unfortunately, it's going to be raining most of Saturday here, if not all of Saturday. You can see this is all the way at midnight going into Sunday. You can see we do have some storms moving through. So I don't think the Easter egg hunt is going to be dry. Karen says, guess we need to batting down the hatches again. Karen, I don't think it's going to be that bad. But it does. We will have some gusty winds. We will have some hail. And we may have a tornado or two. Like maybe just a tornado or two, I should say. So this is all the way into Sunday. And I bring up Sunday because anybody who is still watching here. Hey everyone, not only do we have a severe threat for Friday, but we also have one for Sunday here. We have another slight risk in place. Anywhere south of 70 and I-64 in Illinois, anywhere south of that, we have another severe weather risk. And a little bit too early to get into the models. We'll get to it a little bit later, maybe on Saturday or tomorrow. But this has a chance to be strong to severe with tornadoes, hail, and wind all being possible. But remember, it's just a level 2 threat. So it's not going to be anything moderate, high, extreme, dangerous, life-threatening, but we do have another severe weather risk expected on Sunday as well. And that could be a problem for the Easter egg hunts and events. Now, we'll go through the future radar just to get you an idea of what to expect here. And don't mind me, just going to give me a drink of water, not sponsored. Looks like there is a wall cloud being formed and our friends in Iowa. So that's going to be nice. But we'll go into the Easter forecast here, and we'll give you, you can see these storms moving through on Saturday here. It's going to be some rain around on Saturday, basically all of Saturday. Now we go into Sunday. Sunday morning, probably some isolated the scattered showers on Sunday, and it's going to start being taken over by rain. Broken record here. More rain on the way on Sunday for Easter, everybody. And once we get into the afternoon hour and to the evening, this is probably where we'll have the most chance of seeing severe weather, if there is even severe weather. You can see marginal threat of severe weather, maybe some hail, and maybe a quick spin-up tornado or two. It's possible around Sunday afternoon, so we'll have to watch that as we get closer. But once we get into the evening, a line of thunderstorms move through around the 4 to 7 hours. So not Thanksgiving. Oh, crazy. Thanksgiving. Basically, Easter, what we're talking about. We do have it coming through around the 4 to 7 hour, a line of thunderstorms. This does not look to be severe, but a line of thunderstorms will be moving in around the 4 to 7 hour p.m. and on Sunday as well. And then once we get out of Sunday into Monday, that will be all cleared out, and we'll be in the next week's video, which comes out on Sunday. But want to go over the severe weather risk, this to calm everybody's. Yes, Natalie, Monday is looking clear. But I do want to bring your attention, everybody who's just tuned in. We are going over the severe weather discussion for Friday and Sunday, because we do have severe weather on Friday and Sunday. And great news, everybody, at least for me, is we have a slight risk. Everybody's in the slight risk here. You can see on your screen 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. And you might say it's nothing, because most likely it might not be nothing. So 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. And we do unfortunately have a tornado risk, but this is low. This is like 2%, very, very low. Isolated at best, maybe 1 or 2 tornadoes possible, but this is not the point of the event. So don't really have to worry about the tornado department. Your roof should be just fine. It should not be blown off. So the tornado risk, I'm not worried about. Not really expecting anything for the Friday evening time. But we do have to watch the wind risk, because the colors do get brighter, which means we do have a higher threat of wind around the area here. So wind, check. Wind we have to be worried about. Tornadoes maybe for Friday evening. And then as we go to the hail risk, I would be concerned. The hail risk, everybody. This will be the most problem. So if you had to pick out a risk, it almost looks like a face. But I would be concerned mostly about the hail. The hail is probably going to be most significant. But once again, when you have a slight risk in place, usually most of the time means isolated to maybe scattered severe storms will be possible with severe weather. Now, we'll go over the timing one more time, just for anybody who's just tuned in. We'll go over the timing here. Saturday for Easter events, everybody's tuned in, and I have been asked. Saturday for Easter events is going to be wet. It's going to be raining. It's going to be thunderstorms. It's not really going to be too pleasant. So let's go into the timing here once again. Here is Friday morning. So when you're waking up on Friday and saying, thank you, it's Friday, I get 2 days off. If you're those people who work Monday through Fridays, we're going to wake up and it's going to be, oh, this is nice. Well, it's going to be nice to a certain point. So once we get into the evening time, we're going to see some thunderstorms. We'll be monitoring this and posting updates as well. So make sure you're following and liking. And you can also receive notifications on YouTube. Same name as you found me on here on Team Kenny Weather. And you can be notified when we go live as well. So make sure you do that. But once we get into the Friday afternoon, we'll have some thunderstorms. We'll be monitoring this in the Weather Center to see what it does. But this does not look to be severe at this moment. But once we get into the 7 p.m. hour, this is where we have to watch for some pop-up thunderstorms. Any of these storms around the 7 p.m. hour will pose the greatest threat for severe wind, hail, and maybe a tornado. Now, the tornado's not going to be like EF5 severe damage. It's going to be a weak tornado at best here. And that's when we really have to watch. So watch around 7 p.m. Any evening plans on Friday. Make sure you tune in to the Team Candy weather page. We'll keep you updated and let you know what's going on as well. And then once we get into 8 p.m., that's when it gets more scattered. So anywhere in this area, we really have to watch out for any severe thunderstorms. And once again, it's mainly going to be a hail and wind threat, but we can't rule out maybe a tornado. But it's going to be isolated, the scatter severeness. So not everybody's going to see a severe storm at once. It's going to be like a little pop-up, popcorn machine, I should say. And then once we get into the overnight hours as well, you can see it starts to get more widespread here around the evening time. We have to watch once again for that severe weather risk. And then once we get into the overnight hours, it's just start to weaken up a little bit. And then we're just in a train of rain. Ooh, I like that rhyme. Making rhymes on the spot, everybody. And so, yes, rain overnight all the way into Sunday morning. This is 8 a.m. on Saturday. Getting ahead of myself. Saturday morning. And you can see a lot of thunderstorms moving through. This is not expected to be severe, but a lot of heavy rain. This is why we have the flood watch in place. So we do have to watch the rivers and the potential for flooding. So if you have any low-lying areas, make sure you're prepared for that. But all the way through Saturday, this is Saturday afternoon, non-stop rain for the St. Louis and the surrounding counties. So a lot of rain on Saturday, a lot of rain on Sunday. And we do have a severe weather risk possible for the Sunday as well. So not only do we have Friday, we do have Saturday as well. Now, my favorite part is we're going to go to the National Weather Service. Let's see this check-in notification here. Let's check. Okay, I'm not seeing nothing. Oh, okay, so he is there. So let's go into the threats here. And let's zoom out. All right, everybody. So let's go through the threats here real quick. This is a visual presentation of what I said. So National Weather Service is saying tornado category is none, but I think maybe just one is possible, but will be weak if we do have a tornado. And like I said, this severe weather is not going to be as bad, but it's still enough to be monitoring for alerts and updates, and a potential live stream will probably be needed, but we'll keep you updated with that tomorrow. But isolated hail is possible up to quarter size hail. So if you catch 4, you do get $1. So make sure you guys are collecting those as well. But maximum expected hail size is quarter size. We're not expecting the New York versus Cardinals game. We're not expecting foul balls expected. So that is great. And then once again, isolated hail, 60 miles per hour, just your typical thunderstorm. So we may have a couple trees down, but once again, maybe some isolated power outages as well. But mainly these categories right here. So hail and damaging winds will be the most likely scenario tomorrow. And like I said, it's not going to be as bad. That's why we had that 2 for the slight risk. So 2 on a severe weather scale. It's not going to be that bad, but it's also worth keeping an eye on the weather. Now, you don't want to let your guard down because it can always change, but we'll be providing updates as well. And then we'll go to the, give me 1 second. Natalie says my backyard is going to turn into a flash river. Oh, yes, it will. It might turn into the Missouri River. Just have it connect and you'll be just fine. So we're going to show you some other graphics here because we went over it a couple times. We'll show you a couple things. And let me get this pulled up over here on the side monitor. For everybody who is curious and forgot, I do have 6 monitors, so don't mind me. So you can see for the rain risk, we do have a moderate risk of heavy rainfall here. And we did post that on the Facebook page as well earlier. So we do have a significant chance. Here it's like 44, something like this. So anywhere near 44, north and south of 44, near I-70, we're going to have major flooding potential. So we do have to expect the flooding potential is going to be crazy. That's why we do have the flood watch in place as well. So let me bring that up as well. Here is, this is also available for everybody as well. So we do have that flood watch in place for everybody. This goes until April 20th at 7 p.m. So I believe Sunday evening. So everybody's in the flood watch, which basically means that flash flooding is possible due to the amount of rain that we do have. Amy says, hi, I just got on. Amy, we are discussing the severe weather risk for Friday, as you can see on your screen here, Friday. And we also have one on Sunday as well. So we have 2 potential days of severe weather. And just like I mentioned before, we are not expecting anything significant or anything to, at least a panic. So we'll go over the risk one more time. It looks like up north is having a couple tornado situations. Looks like it got 2 going. So once again, tornado risk here is low, but it is there. It is possible for a brief, small spin-up tornado. It's possible. So it's going to be Friday evening. I know it says Friday night. It's more like Friday night after 7 p.m. Tornado risk 2%, which is very low. Now we have the wind risk. Now it's a little bit elevated. Slight risk, isolated wind up to 60 miles per hour is possible everywhere that you can see. This is also for Friday night as well. And then we also have the hail potential a little bit more elevated up to quarter size. So like I said before, 4 quarters equals $1. So if you get 4 quarters of hail equals $1, you can get pretty rich. So make sure you guys are collecting that and saving it in the freezer as well. So hail risk is possible up to quarter size. We're not expecting any severe damage, anything like that, but we mainly just have a typical severe thunderstorm situation for tomorrow. But of course, there is that tornado risk, but don't want you to get freaked out by that. But Sunday, we do have a severe weather risk. We are right on the end of the severe weather risk, which is possible. This has been moving around, so we'll keep an eye on it, but it looks to be in the afternoon time for that as well. So we'll do that. So timing real quick, not sure if Amy's on there. Suzanne says, hey, Kenny, have a wonderful evening. You have a wonderful evening too. Did you guys turn on the air conditioning yet? It was a hot one today. Temperatures are probably going to be most likely like that again tomorrow until we get that rainstorm. But once again, Friday morning will be fine. Nothing to worry about. Friday morning will be okay. So nothing to worry about. We just have to watch when we get to the evening time. It's when we have to expect a few tornadoes. Maybe not a few. Just like 1 or 2 tornadoes will be possible. And this is around 7 p.m. So Amy says you're still here. Okay, perfect. 7 p.m., at least in my opinion, will be the biggest time. So if I'll keep monitoring it tomorrow, and we'll probably go live around like 6 p.m. so we can be a little bit of ahead of this, but it is a little bit conditional. I will mention that it's a little bit conditional, which means it may or may not happen. So don't get too freaked out, everybody. And I'm saying this very softly because I've been seeing people overhyping this. So it may or may not happen. So I just want to let you guys know. So, but anyways, 7 p.m. in my honest opinion, I think will be the watcher because any of these storms that can blow up here will be the severe storms. So this will have chance for tornado, hail, and wind. So, but we do have a cap in place, and once again, a cap means the storm will rise like this, and then there's a dry layer aloft that will just stop it from growing. So then it basically says, okay, I'm done. and then we don't have any severe storms. So that's why I said any of these storms that can break the cap here will have potential to be severe. And then once we get after 7 p.m. into around 8 and 9 p.m., it doesn't really do a good job, but any of these small storms in front of the line back here will have potential to be severe. So basically about 7 p.m. to midnight will be the prime time for the severe weather risk. And now once we get into midnight, past midnight, let me get this over here. Once we get into the midnight, it's going to be rain forever. So if you don't want to pay your water bill this month and you want to use the environment of water cycle, it's not the water cycle, but it's going to feel like it. But basically, we're going to recycle, and we have a lot of rain coming on Saturday. Basically all day. This is what I've been talking about in the weather video as well. Rain all day into the nighttime. So any plans on Saturday for the Easter events, it's going to be raining outside. Make sure you're using umbrella. It's not going to be a pleasant time out there. It might be a thunderstorm or two, actually. So make sure you're prepared for that. But once we get into Saturday evening, same story. It's still raining nonstop. It's still there. It's not going anywhere, unfortunately. And as you can see, it's through the whole night on Saturday. Okay, that's for later. So basically, Saturday and to Sunday as well is what we can expect. Because if we go to Sunday, we do have that severe weather risk for Sunday as well. This is Saturday going into Sunday. Let's get Sunday load up. Yeah, you can see. So basically, may have a break around the 10 late morning, like after morning church, but around the 10 a.m. we may have a quick break. And I say very quick, like an hour or two. But then, as you can see, the rain off to the west is going to be making its way through. And basically, around 1 p.m. on Saturday, the time frame on Saturday, 1 p.m., 1:00 p.m., is going to be the chance of severe weather on Sunday. So we do have that severe weather risk for the Sunday. Why is it doing this? Come on, computer. Computer's getting a little bit excited. It wants to show you the dry weather. So you can see once we get into Sunday, let me actually bring it to the screen. So once we get to Sunday, like I said, this line of storms here will be the severe weather risk. So this is about 1 p.m. and any of these storms could be produced. It looks like all hazards, they have said. So maybe a tornado, hail, and wind. So we have 2 days this weekend of severe weather. We'll be tracking it. We'll be covering it as well and posting updates. But make sure you're following us on YouTube to get notifications when we are live, because I did get some comments that you guys are not getting notified for my live streams. But we are live on on YouTube, and you can be notified there as well. So, like I said, Sunday is also going to be a raining day. So, like I said, it's going to be wet all weekend. And then once we get into Monday and Tuesday, all the way to about, looks like Wednesday, we'll have some dry weather. So, everybody that's wondering about dry weather, Monday through Wednesday, as of now, looks good. But make sure you tune into that weather video. We'll go through the rest of the week for that as well. So, like I said, we have severe risk for tomorrow night, beginning around 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Like I said, it's conditional. It may or may not happen. Okay, so you guys are prepared that it may not happen. It may happen. We just have to watch. We just have to watch the trends. We have to see how much sun that we can get and how the atmosphere plays out. But I do think around at 7 p.m. to midnight will be the prime time for any severe storms. So we'll probably most likely be live, but we'll just monitor. If nothing really happens, we won't go live. But if we get like warnings or anything that looks strong to severe, we will activate our live stream and we will be here to provide coverage. And also, potentially on Sunday, we have to check the schedule for Sunday and the severity of the schedule on Sunday. But Sunday is also a severe weather risk, slight risk, just like tomorrow. And so that'll be just fine. And I do want to bring your attention to as well. We'll bring your attention to weather risk. People were talking about what's the weather going to be like for Thursday. You can see it's all the way up here in Omaha. So there we go. So the severe weather risk for tonight is going to be fine. But once we get into tomorrow evening, this radar will be a little bit busy. So it's taking a quick break right now, but it will be busy. You can see all the tornado warnings. This is not going to be how it looks tomorrow, but we will have some thunderstorms, most likely looking like this, in my honest opinion. So that will be that. Do you guys also like this overlay for the 5 people who are watching? Do you guys like this? I've been working on it as well. I've been working on the overlays. Also made the new camera one so you can actually see me. And you can see the radar as well. So I've been working on these as well. So let me know what you guys think too of what you guys like. So you can see me moving the radar. You can see the camera. So I'm not disappearing every time we take a live shot. So, like I said, tonight's rain is going to be up north, but tomorrow we're going to be having the main severe weather risk for Friday night. Chris says, looks awesome. Kenny, doing great. I really do appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. You did say that you were going to tune in when I saw you today. But yes, in my honest opinion, this real talk, everybody. Basically, I'm probably like a family member. I'm pretty sure you're always like, what's he doing? So I'm going to just let you know, this is a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather risk. The last time we had a severe weather risk, we've been having 3 to 4 and almost feels like 5 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. So this is a very low end severe weather situation now. It's not saying that we won't have severe weather, but it is mainly going to be isolated. Oh, you guys like the graphics? Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I've been working on them back then, so. But like I said, you can see just like what me and the National Weather Service are thinking, we are just expecting isolated. Isolated means not everybody's going to get one, but it is possible if one does form, we could have the quarter-sized hail and we can have 60-mile-per-hour winds. So that's basically what that means with that. So the severe weather risk, 7 p.m. start time, will be live if needed. So make sure you're following the weather page and on YouTube. And you'll be notified as well on YouTube, Team Kenny Weather Live. You'll get a notification when we go live. So you won't ever miss the live stream. So flooding potential is possible as well. Not really too concerned, but a lot of rain will cause some flooding around the area. So the river should be okay with the heat. So that would be just fine. But mostly, like I said, just how I described it, if we do get a severe storm, it's going to be isolated. And quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds is going to be possible. So a severe thunderstorm warning is going to be possible. Not really looking at a tornado outbreak. Not really talking about it too much because it's really not going to happen. And on Sunday, it is possible, a little bit conditional, but rain through the whole weekend. So we got rain tomorrow night, we got rain Saturday, we got rain Sunday. So 3 days of rain, which is going to be causing the flooding potential. The river should be okay, but we do have to monitor that as well. Yeah, 2 to 3 inches of rain is going to be what's expected through Sunday. And you can see Merrimack, chance of river flooding. You can see all the rivers. There's about 50% or so of it being expected. So not really a whole lot of river flooding going to be possible. And then also they do have a possibility of the severe weather potential the National Weather Service is talking about. And like I said, it depends the tracks. So if it goes north, the severe weather risk will keep going north. So it will cover basically up here and north. And if the tracks further south, this will go bye-bye. So we really have to watch out, but regardless, we'll have rain all 3 days. The whole entire weekend is going to be wet. So that is basically that. You're welcome, Amy, if you're still here. And if anybody has any final questions or comments, if not, we'll probably wrap up the live stream here. Any more last questions, comments, concerns, recipes? Looks like not seeing anything. Everybody just like staring at my face. That's okay as well. We like that. But I think we're gonna head off here. Looks like most everybody's tuned out. That means I give some great information. And so we're gonna roll on out with the outro. So any last final questions, let me know. Suzanne said, I really appreciate your in-depth weather report. Don't forget my birthday. I have not forgot about your birthday, Suzanne. Have not forgot about it. And just in case, happy early birthday. Just in case I don't see you tomorrow, happy early birthday, Suzanne. So, yeah, I'm not sure why the comments doesn't do it. Karen says, see you next time. Thanks, Kenny. Yes, you'll probably most likely see me tomorrow, so I think you'll be okay. So, yes, Suzanne, just in case, happy early birthday. And unfortunately, sorry that every single day is going to be raining. Fortunately, I did have a chat with the storms, but unfortunately, we need, I guess, to get our drought conditions perfect so we don't have to worry about them around July when we get all the heat. So that is what they told me, that we need to be prepared, get enough rain as we can, also so the flowers can grow. So unfortunately, that's what it is. So I think we're going to head off now here. Once again, this for a wrap up. Anybody that's tuning in afterwards and rewatching, 7 p.m. for the severe storms. Tomorrow evening will probably most likely be live. But remember, conditional. And we'll have rain on Saturday, all day Saturday. So any plans on Saturday, it's going to be raining. And on Sunday, we do have a potential risk of severe weather. You can see on the screen here for Sunday afternoon and possibly evening. So with that being said, we're going to roll out with the intro. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you have missed anything, or if you just tuned in, feel free to rewind, and also make sure you're subscribed over on YouTube so you can be notified and on time when we have our next live stream here. So let me get the end screen. Yeah, I might just have to do it like usual. I don't know why. Real quick, before I head out, just going to check something. Let's see. Yeah, not really too sure. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we're going to roll out on the intro. So make sure to hit the like button on the way out. Let me know that I did a great job and that you guys are prepared for the severe weather tomorrow. And we'll probably most likely... Vicky, last call for alcohol, Vicky. Vicky says rain tonight for Arnold. Rain tonight for Arnold. That is going to be a no. But tomorrow night and the rest of the night for... Hold on one second. The tomorrow night and all the other nights, Vicky, we will be having rain all the way through the area. But I think we'll be just fine. Maybe some sprinkles, but not really looking too likely. But once we get into tomorrow night after 7 p.m., it's going to be a rainstorm. So it's going to be all the way through Saturday through Sunday, and it's going to be moving out for Sunday night. So rain all weekend. So not tonight, but make sure you sit outside, enjoy the 75 degrees that we have outside, because next 3 days, it's not going to feel like the weekend. So there you go. So there you go, Vicky. And once again, I really do appreciate you tuning in as well. And I think we're going to roll off on here. Like I said, make sure follow for updates, and we'll let you know when we go live as well on YouTube and on Facebook here. And we'll keep you posted as well. But tomorrow's risk is very conditional. It may or may not happen. So we'll just have to watch it. So don't believe the hype because it's a 50-50 shot. It's a slight risk. Really not a lot that's going to happen. Mainly hail and wind. So with that being said, let's roll on out with the outro. And we'll see you next time, most likely tomorrow, on the Team Kenny weather page.